is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Sandusky, Ohio, weighing in at 285 pounds, Rickey
As we try to regroup from what we just saw, the show must go on, although our thoughts are with Dave and Ulysses. We take a look at a Cleveland cult hero of his own, RSP, Mr. We Can Roll, Rickey Shane Page, who was the first man to defeat Gannon Jones Jr. in PCW history. Another Turner's Hall homecoming from a man that competed in this building regularly over a decade ago. An individual that decided to lay some aspirations to besmirch my name, let's say. Speaking of Rickey's opponent, Chris LeRusso.
Weighing in at 186 pounds, the heir apparent, Chris LeRusso.
Chris LeRusso refused to come to work last month until I gave him a title shot. I told him, Chris, you can be in the title tournament this March, but can't miss another day of work. By the way, Rickey Shane Page, your next opponent.
Turn the music up. What kind of an operation are you running here? First of all, don't look at me. Don't look at me. You people should consider yourselves lucky. Rickey Shane Page, you should consider yourself lucky because you are in the presence of greatness. You are in the presence of a rising star in professional wrestling. You are in the presence of the heir apparent, Chris LeRusso. Don't look at me. Rickey, this might be your hometown, but this is my house.
Isn't it nice that not only do we get a fine caliber athlete that is Chris LeRusso, but we get to see Chris LeRusso wrestle, and we get to see him prove what everybody knows, that when you go up against a Clevelander, you're always better.
I think there's only two people that feel that way, and you're one of them. The other one's about to step in the ring.
Well, that to me is in terms of importance in class, that's the majority right there.
Rickey Shane Page beat Gannon Jones Jr. I believe that fan just insulted Chris LeRusso's win-loss record as part of the Ring of Honor promotion. And LeRusso, with that smug grin on his face, Cheshire Cat-like, LeRusso feels like no matter what happens here, and he does not have the best win-loss streak. I think that guy's got a better win-loss streak than Chris LeRusso.
Well, you know what? I'd love to see Tubbs from the front row take on Chris LeRusso. I'd pay money to see him backhand him right in the face. Speaking of, Nick Lendo's lucky. You do not look at Chris LeRusso when he's speaking.
Sometimes I'd rather not look at Chris LeRusso. He's such an overbearing individual.
I think you're jealous.
Of what?
Of Chris LeRusso. Not only his athletic ability, but look at his hair. Is there anything the man can't do?
Okay, he can wrestle and comb his hair. It's our list so far. And I'll tell you what, Chris LeRusso is very successful. He's very athletically inclined. I think, hey, I'm going to say this. I think Chris LeRusso is underrated. How about that? As Rickey gets two. But I don't think Chris LeRusso is as good as Chris LeRusso thinks he is.
You couldn't just leave it at the compliment, Joe.
We'll find out, won't we? Hey, Rickey Shane Page is beloved in this area. He's won singles titles. He's won tag team titles. He has defeated Gannon Jones Jr., as I mentioned. He's also defeated M-Dog 20 Mac Cross in a PCW ring. So he's done very well. And you know what? If Rickey Shane Page had been around for our deliberations at the end of 2016, I bet Rickey Shane Page would be in our title tournament next month. LeRusso frustrated. Rickey Shane Page mentioned on Twitter earlier, we retweeted it, and that was not a wise move. Did you suggest LeRusso do that, slap Rickey Shane Page?
Well, I said he should send a message.
Oh. Rickey said on our Twitter, we retweeted it at PCW Cleveland, Rickey likes to do two things. That's have fun and punch people in the face. And, oof, LeRusso goes to the throat. And Rickey scoops him up, uses LeRusso's momentum against him. Nicely done by Chris LeRusso. And look at the look on LeRusso's face. He has not been able to build the momentum he's wanted to against Rickey Shane Page thus far.
Well, don't you worry about I'll have you know that Chris LeRusso, he's always game planned. He's always ready to go, and he can be the marathon man. He can just outlast Ricky Shane Page if need be. Although that is a tall order because as we've
Springboard, back elbow, nicely done.
As we've mentioned before, despite the
Dance move, a little shimmy. Like that shimmy?
We saw the shimmy earlier. I prefer the one we saw earlier today, but you might look at Ricky Shane Page and not expect to see the agility and really the wind that he has. I mean, he can really go. Chris LeRusso can definitely go as well. My money's on Chris personally, but I may be a tad biased, just a tad.
You got money on this thing or something. Ricky Shane Page is having the time of his life, though. This guy is never shy about getting into a fight.
And a smart move there, not only staying out of the way of that roaring elbow, but smashing the back of his head into that ring post. And I think the ring post may have bent a little bit.
Ooh. Well, Ricky Shane Page, we know he has a very high tolerance for pain. You can see the scars up and down the arms and on the forehead of Ricky Shane Page to show you the battles he's been in through the years. So, in your opinion, are you still claiming Chris LeRusso's the first and next PCW champion? All others be damned.
I would have to say that if I were a betting man...
Oh, he's got his lip ring.
Well, that's what Ricky Shane Page gets for wearing it to the ring.
Ricky trying to fight out of it frantically. But LeRusso, now, how does that prove he's a better wrestler? Just ripping somebody's lip ring out of their face.
Well, sometimes you got to be the smarter wrestler. You don't see Chris LeRusso with the jewelry like the kids have. You don't. So if Ricky Shane Page is going to wear that, that's fine. But Chris can use that to his advantage.
Yeah, but Ricky Shane Page, if he gets his wits about him, he may have a receipt to dish back to Mr. LeRusso. Series of elbows by LeRusso. I think even you can agree with me that when it comes to power and size, as LeRusso gets one, LeRusso's very outmatched. So he's had to use his resourcefulness, and he's had to use his cunning to get Ricky Shane Page down.
Well, yeah, definitely the size and power advantage is going to Ricky Shane Page, and might be the most powerful man in all of PCW.
Lowering elbow, no counter. That could have done it, and LeRusso with a high knee. And Ricky Shane Page in trouble into the cover now. Could this be all? No.
But the one thing I will say, possibly the smartest man in PCW, not only smarts in wrestling, but book smarts as well, because as has been mentioned, you can see there on his tights, Chris LeRusso, an expert in law, but also an expert...
Well, that's not legal!
Well, an expert in knowing the law is also an expert in knowing how to manipulate that law, and referee Potato McGee there has until 5, and then if he doesn't get to 5, then LeRusso can break.
Dave Dawson, you weren't even close that time.
I thought it was McGee.
Ricky Shane Page is reeling now. He doesn't have his legs under him like he needs to. He's off balance. And speaking of balance, great elevation on the drop kick by Chris LeRusso. Into the cover. Near fall.
And in response to your question earlier, do I think Chris LeRusso will be the first PCW champion? Yes, I absolutely do. There are only 2 men that I want to see.
Look at this.
LeRusso
LeRusso tried to run his mouth and insult Ricky Shane Page, and that's something you just don't do. Slugfest center ring. I do not give advantage to LeRusso, all due respect. But LeRusso's looked great so far, but not that time. Death Valley driver. LeRusso's had Ricky reeling on a number of occasions, but Ricky showing that resolve, comes back with a big foot.
Well, you saw LeRusso again going for that high knee.
Ooh.
And it didn't work out, and that's why we see LeRusso in the predicament he's in now. I have faith that LeRusso... See, there you go. LeRusso is a very, very smart wrestler.
Oh, back body drop, but Shane Page with a kick on the way down. LeRusso hit from all sides. Could this be all? No. And you can sense Ricky Shane Page getting a little frustrated. Perhaps RSP underestimated Chris LeRusso.
And that's one thing you don't do. You know, we saw him previously go toe-to-toe with Gannon Jones Jr. Really send a message, not only I think to Gannon, but to PCW as a whole.
Oof.
And you can't underestimate anybody here in PCW, especially Chris LeRusso. You know, Chris LeRusso, a good personal friend of mine, if you didn't know that.
Hadn't noticed.
Oh.
Into the buckle, LeRusso gets the foot up. Can the heir apparent prove that this building is his? Pump kick by Ricky Shane Page.
And see, there's I mentioned earlier about Chris LeRusso being the smart wrestler, rolling to the outside, not letting Ricky Shane Page get a chance to get that pinfall.
Oh, God. LeRusso hanging up the arm of Page on the rope. We saw the damage that does earlier. LeRusso's elbow has been lacerated in this matchup, but he presses on. That springboard neckbreaker. LeRusso with a mild upset. No. Ricky Shane Page barely able to kick out. Maybe LeRusso needed a little more body on body. I'm not sure. Maybe he's preoccupied with this elbow injury he suffered. But either way, Chris LeRusso could be a coming out party here. He has a chance to pin Ricky Shane Page and Ricky's original stomping grounds. Super kick. Ricky tries to shrug it off, and LeRusso keeps chopping down the tree. He connects several times. Hook of the leg. Done. No.
Joe, well, I certainly thought that was it with that super kick party, super kick fiesta, and Chris LeRusso thought it was. I think the only person that may have not thought it was the end was Ricky Shane Page. Oh, and now we get the people. That's wonderful.
These people have faith in Ricky Shane Page as well. Could be a headlock driver. Countered, roaring elbow, connects. LeRusso doesn't go down. Oh, choke breaker! Exclamation point just to make sure Ricky Shane Page has been through a battle, but he comes out on top.
Here is your winner, Ricky Shane Page.
That roaring elbow has knocked out many men. I'm not proud to say it, but it knocked me out one time. And Chris LeRusso, he was out on his feet, but he wasn't down. Ricky Shane Page knew he needed a little bit more. To me, that's a credit to the toughness of Chris LeRusso. But once again, when you come into the ring, assuming this is already yours and assuming you don't need to earn your opportunities, sometimes you fall short. Ricky Shane Page was ready. He brought it. Chris LeRusso may be looking ahead to the title tournament he may have paid for.
Well, you've got to look at what's in front of you. You can't look ahead, and that is what people are going to have to know if they're going up against Ricky Shane Page. And now he's got the answer.
Too bad.